sports fans, ASMR Sports back with you, doing a little bit of experimentation today. What you see before you, hello, is another area of the card dungeon, different from what I showed in my kind of product by product video I did a while ago. I'm actually standing up right now in front of a table here, and I'm gonna move the camera down so I can show you like what is in front of me, because we're gonna do a sort of like a well, how do I want to do this? Let's see. Got this in a tripod, so it's fairly restricted. Yeah, I don't like that. I want to get more. Man. I should have figured this out before I started recording. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause this and figure out the best angle to show you what I want. Alright, well, this may be about as good as we get. But this table right here, actually it's two tables, is right next to where I record all my videos from, which is kind of right over that direction. Actually, no, it's this direction, which makes no sense to you, but I'm standing where I would normally sit for recording. But I've actually wanted to have sort of a more open space where I can put larger items. Like this would never fit on, the space where I normally record. And sometimes I do like to open up, larger boxes with shipments, as I intend to do today. Getting the microphone here so I can actually, work with my hands in front of me, and speak into the microphone is a bit of a challenge, but we're gonna give it a go here. So, I haven't done a video in a while. Apologies for that. I've actually been waiting for a lot of stuff to come in, and actually I got a kind of a larger order of a variety of things from my distributor that has not come in yet. It's coming in tomorrow, but I have gotten a lot of things in the last week, so I think I have enough to do an interesting video, and I'll probably pick one or two of these things to open here for the kind of second part of the video. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of, I've sort of opened some of these packages. This one I've not opened. Some other boxes here I've opened just to check the contents are in there, but have not really explored them, so I thought it would be fun to do a video where I go through these with you all and show you what I've got. So, alright, so this one just came in today, and it is a vintage case. Junk wax era vintage, I should say. And this is very junky stuff, but it's something I'm actually pretty excited about getting, because I've never, actually I don't even think I've owned a box of this stuff. At least in recent times, I don't think. But it is a product that, if you collected in the 80s or 90s, you are going to be familiar with. And I remember when I was a kid thinking this product was pretty exciting, even though it really has not maintained its value. So the person who sent this seems to have just wrapped the, product case or box in some plastic wrap and then put some grocery bag paper over it. because I think they're going to be too loud. Hopefully. Alright, if you're very observant, you've probably seen the side of the box here and what it says. Yeah, it's really hard to figure out where the hell the camera's pointing. So I don't know if you can see that through the 15 pounds of saran wrap that have been applied to this. I'm going to try to cut through this. Now this is not a sealed case, so I don't particularly care what happens to the outer box. It did ship in, the original case, and it is complete, so all of the boxes for this case are in here. Kind of feel like maybe this is not my sharpest box cutter. Beauties. So these, well, that one's got banged up a little bit, but these look like they're kind of, in their original state here. Pretty sweet. These are the first ever Sportflex baseball cards, 1986 Series 1. Pretty awesome, in my view. I don't know if I want to open up one of these displays or not, but yeah, that should be pretty easy. So they come in that little sleeve, which is kind of interesting packaging. And then there's always like the little bonus card on there. So I used to see these, when I was a kid, and they were not like cheap. I mean, by today's standards, they were cheap, but when I was a kid, I was paying, 35 cents a pack for tops. And anything more than that seemed exorbitantly expensive, so these were certainly, like 59 cents or something like that. And you only get 3 cards, so felt like a real splurge. These guys did. There's Fernando on that one. There's that Rick Sutcliffe maybe. Tom Seaver. You can see so yeah, Sportflex were these, kind of lenticular 3D motion cards that, funny, were not really the first time that the lenticular kind of technology was used on cards. Kellogg's used to do these promotional sets that would go in their cereal boxes in like the 70s and 80s, well before these came along. So, not the first time, but certainly the first time in a product that came in, sealed packs. And, yeah, anyways, I remember these, seeing these when I was a kid, thinking they were pretty cool, but just kind of beyond my reach. So, I can't remember what I paid for these, but I remember it was a pretty solid deal. And the fact that it's a complete case, and then I'm pretty sure these boxes all were, original to this case. It was a pretty good deal. So maybe I'll put some of those on the store eventually, but I was just kind of really excited to have those for the first time ever. Really, I don't even think I have a single, box of those 86 Series 1s. So now let's see. This is a candidate for something I'll probably want to open on the video here, because I'm really actually quite curious to see what these are like. But I'm a big non-sports card collector, and that means basically anything that like my distributor carries in terms of pre-orderable products in the non-sports category, at least if it's like sort of pop culture stuff that I'm familiar with. I'm going to be interested. So these came up. I'm like, all right, let me just do a case of these. So we've got Cardsmith's Golden Girls trading cards, first ever. This is Series 1, so who knows if they'll do more. But Cardsmith's is an interesting brand. I've seen them do a few sets now, and I think they're relatively new. I might be wrong about that, but I've only sort of run into their stuff relatively recently, so I think they're pretty new. Like, they haven't been around as long as like Rittenhouse, I don't think, which is probably the largest non-sports card manufacturer, outside of like Upper Deck, which does the Marvel stuff and a few other properties, and I guess Topps, which does Star Wars and like Garbage Pail Kids. But those are kind of different types of companies really than these small little cottage industry manufacturers. But I don't know. Anyways, these look pretty interesting, so we maybe take a closer look at those. I got a case of these, which I think is 12. Yeah, 12 in a case from my distributor. So who knows if those are really worth anything. One time, a long time ago, like basically during the the pandemic, actually it was maybe a little bit before the pandemic, I was just buying stuff that I felt connected to, and Napoleon Dynamite's one of my favorite movies. I don't really watch it that much, but if it's ever on, I'll certainly watch. It's funny because I don't have cable, so I don't know what that means if it's ever on, but if I ever stumble into it or something on Netflix or something like that, I'll probably watch it. But I bought a case of boxes of Napoleon Dynamite cards for like it was probably like $50 for the case of like 12. So I probably paid like $4 a box or $3 a box or something. And those actually are fairly valuable. I think they go for probably about like $50 or $60 now. And I think during the pandemic boom, when kind of non-sports was hot along with everything else, those went for like $100. I probably should have sold them, but I still have them. So sometimes just buying stuff like that you love can work out to profits. But all right, so this is a rare example of a modern Panini NFL product that I actually got my grubby hands on from my distributor. This is Panini Origins 2024, and I really know nothing about this class of rookies. I mean, I know J.J. McCarthy because he plays for the Vikings. He got injured. Like, it was like either in the first game or in like I think it was actually in preseason that he got injured. But I know he was a top draft pick, and the fact that he plays locally is exciting for a lot of people around where I am. But other than that, I just don't know any who I'm looking for in 2025. I barely know in 2023 products. So yeah, I don't know what the chases here are. But this is a 2-auto box. It only has it's only like 10 cards or something you get. It doesn't say. So, anyways, I'll put that up for sale at some point on my site. Probably everything here I'm going to try to get up. Actually, these I probably won't, and I'll tell you why. So, I just got my shipment from Fanatics, which is where I bought these from. These are the 2024 Topps Chrome Logo Fractor Mega Boxes. These have been very popular since they came out in, was was. So I think this might be the third year for them. And, it was the same story kind of every year. These sold out very quickly. They were hard to get. They always sold for a multiple of what they cost, on the secondary market. And I haven't ever had any. But this year Topps, basically like quadrupled the print run and jacked the price on these, so they've been a lot easier to get. I have seen some breaks of these. I think, oh gosh, who is it? One of the guys I watch a lot of his stuff. Run Good Life did like a half a case of these, which I think these are 22 a case, so it's like 10, and actually got, I think, some really good hits out of them. Like, there's a lot of good rookies in here, and it seemed like the color logo fractors were, pretty heavily inclusive of rookies, so could be some good. But anyways, I paid $15 for these, from Fanatics. That's what they charge, and you can go get these for $150 right now. So they didn't sell out. I did I forget what they call it on the Fanatics website, but they do like a pre-order lottery, and you put in how many you want to buy, and then basically if you win, quote unquote, then they just ship them to you. And you put in your payment info and stuff when you do that. So I just did the max, which was 8. And so those are what we've got. So past years of these go for, I think, like between $150 and $200. So there's certainly a chance that they get up into that price range. But because they they made so many of them, it's going to take one of the rookies from this class to really pop off in a major way to support those kinds of price increases. So that they may never go up in value. It's really going to depend on the rookie class, as is often the case with Topps Chrome stuff. All right, next up we have a couple of cases that are from the same order. Couldn't fit in one box, so they put them in 2. I'm not sure how deep I want to go. I would like to pull out a box of these, but actually okay, so these are all one kind of box. If you pay attention to what I've been into lately, you know what those are, or what kind of product. So this is the larger box from that order, and this has some of the same kind of boxes in here, as well as a second kind of box. So I'll crack into these so we can see both. So these boxes came to me from Japan. Alright, I want to cut that. That's too loud. I sort of want to... Oh, jeez. I'm like squishing my one. I sort of want to keep these in here because I don't know if I'll even... Well, I don't know. I probably will sell these, but if I didn't, it would be nice to just keep them snug in a box like this. Alright, so here we go. So I got 2 kinds of boxes here. One is this guy, which is, I forget what they call this set, but it's like the Japanese Stellar Crown set. And boy, they really don't help you. The only English they put on these things is like the copyright notice. But yeah, these are the second most recent set out of Japan, and not terribly desirable right now. But I got a crazy good deal on them, so that's why I got those. And then these are a little bit more desirable. This is the Well, actually, you know what? Okay, the most recent set that just came out actually just came out last week on Friday. So this one here is the second most recent, and this one here is the third most recent Japanese Pokemon set. So these are quite a bit more desirable than the other boxes that I got because they have a few chase cards in them that are going to be in the forthcoming U.S. Pokemon set called Surging Sparks, and there's just a ton of excitement about all of the cards that are going to be in that Surging Sparks set in English. And this set in Japan has, well, not half, but it has maybe, I don't know, 40% of the cards from that set, and then the most recent Pokemon Japanese set has the rest of the Surging Sparks cards in Japanese. And I'm probably going to try to get some of those boxes as well if I can get a good price on them. So, anyways, I got 24 of each of these, as I mentioned. Boy, I'm having a hard time figuring out where the hell the camera's pointing. But, as I mentioned, I recently found a distributor of Japanese products, and so I can order just about anything that's, come out. I have not gotten any of the new set I just mentioned, which is called, what's it called? Electric, oh man, it's called like Electric Breaker or something. Super Electric Breaker or something like that, I think is what it's called. So I've not gotten any of that set from this distributor. This order was kind of a test order to see, if I'd get scammed or not. And you have to buy these boxes in 24 count amounts in order to get the pricing. So that's why I have a lot of them. So I got 24 of each of those, and they have pretty much every Japanese set from the last, I don't know, couple years. Obviously, some of it's more expensive than others, but okay. Sorry for that. I got an interruption here, but I was just wrapping up the part about Japanese Pokemon. So, yeah, if anybody's interested in Japanese Pokemon, let me know, and I could, for example, order other products from earlier series than those two I just showed you. But the problem is I gotta buy 24, so I gotta buy a lot. But I am planning on ordering some other stuff. So if you have an interest in keeping tabs on what I get, let me know. All right, so a couple other things here. So like a week or so ago, Target had a sale on Pokemon products. Everything was 20% off, and I thought, well, geez, I better take a look at what they got. And they actually had a couple of these boxes, which, truth be told, it's even with 20% off, like, it's still way more than I pay on a per pack basis, for stuff that comes from like my distributor, which is where I get 90% of my Pokemon these days. But I do feel like I have some of these around before. Maybe I've opened one or two before, but this is a really cool box because all of the packs in here are from pretty sweet sets. We got Astral Radiance 3 packs, Lost Origin, I think 2 or 3 packs, and then I think 2 packs of Fusion Strike. So those are actually 3 of the best sets from the prior era of Pokemon, the Sword and Shield era of Pokemon, which has a lot of expensive sets in it. So I actually think the pack selection in this box is pretty amazing. So there's 8 packs. I can't remember how much this was, but it was 20% off with that sale. So I felt like I had to pick those up. And then perhaps, I don't know, most interesting to the sports fans out there, these boxes here are, kind of the hot thing right now in kind of retail arbitrage. These are 2024 Donruss. I don't know what they call these boxes. It's so similar to like the Pokemon boxes of this size, like those ones I just showed you. So they would call it a premium box. So I feel like that's a fitting name for this product. But yeah, these showed up at Costco in the last week or so, and it's funny because I went to Costco on Saturday, like just a couple days ago, and I was looking around for these, and I didn't see them. But then like on YouTube, I was noticing like multiple people were posting videos about, finding these products at Costco. So I'm like, God, what's the deal? Why would mine not have them at the same time? I mean, I guess there's lots of reasons why, but I was like, I just can't believe they won't have them. Because I feel like my Costco is pretty good about having stuff like this in stock for a while. Like those Pokemon 3-packs with the 151 stuff in them. Those things sat around for like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, maybe longer. And they were pretty, I mean, they were selling out like hotcakes at larger Costco. So I think my Costco is in obviously a smaller area, and maybe not as many people are shopping there for this kind of stuff or aware of the deals they have. But yeah, I just couldn't believe they didn't have these at all, or even like a space for where they were. So I went back the next day on Sunday, and I looked around, and sure enough, I found them. They were like hiding behind like a support beam in one of the aisles, and they had probably like 30 or 40 of them left. And I was about to like basically just take them all, but there was two like employees right there, and I started grabbing them, and he goes, hey, what is in those that's like valuable? And I truthfully, I didn't really like know, but I mean, I see there is a downtown exclusive oversized downtown, that's wrapped and not, out in the elements to get damaged. So I said, I presume it's because there's a downtown guaranteed in these, and that's a very valuable card, in the regular sized cards. So I'm sure that's what's driving interest. And he's like, oh well, I didn't think it. He didn't think it was because he's familiar with the Pokemon products, which have these oversized promos in all of their boxes. And he said, I don't think those are worth much of anything. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's like sort of half logical to think that, but those really don't have any value according to the market. Because they produce a lot of them. They're often not very rare, blah blah blah. But the downtowns obviously have a history, so even if they're large, the fact that you get one of each of these is, I think, valuable. So yeah, I don't know that I'll open one of these. They actually were more expensive than I was thinking. I thought they were like $40, but they actually were like $53 before tax. And online, these are, I mean, when these first came out, and there weren't that many, I think they were going for like 100 a piece. But now I see people selling them, in lots for, $80. And it just seems like it's a matter of time before these get down to, 70 or 65 or something like that. And then it's just like not even worth what you paid for them plus what you would, spend to ship it, because those are pretty bulky to ship. But I don't know. I was happy to. So I bought 6 of them. The employee who was standing there, who I think was like kind of a manager level employee, he's like, because I was like, oh, you guys have limits on this stuff, because I've never heard of that, and I've bought like 20 items before. And he's like, oh yeah, I think we've always had that limit. And I'm like thinking to myself, like there's no chance that if I brought all these up to pay for them, they, I wouldn't be able to check out. I can almost guarantee it. But anyways, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just take 3. And then he goes, well, I didn't tell you this, but it's 3 per transaction. And I was like, oh, okay, so you get multiple transactions. All right, cool. So I bought 3, walked them to my car, came back, bought 3 more, and actually had to go. Otherwise, I don't know. I might have bought like 10 or something like that. But I didn't have time. It was long lines because it was a Sunday at Costco, which is like the worst time to be at Costco. So, anyways, that's all the new stuff I have now. I'm gonna switch up the camera here, and we're gonna check out those Golden Girls cards. All right, one second. Okay, here we are back in our familiar environs. And here's that case of Golden Girls cards. So I can't remember what the what the MSRP on these is. I don't know. I feel like it might have been like maybe $14.99 or something like that. Maybe I paid like $8 or $9 a box. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, there's actually 2 packs per box. So maybe these are like $10 I paid for them. I don't know. I can't remember. I know I should keep better track of it. I mean, it's all tracked somewhere, but I just don't have it memorized. So let's see what we've got here. Was her name Estelle Getty? And then we've got Betty White, and that's Blanche, but I don't know. I can't remember her name, and oh man, I can't remember her name either. Somebody with Rose. I can't remember who Rose was. She was like Ma. They called her Ma because she was her grandma. You know, I never really watched, Golden Girls. I mean, I saw it when it was on, and, it's definitely a part of any childhood that was from the 80s, especially the late 80s and early 90s. But I have seen it, on available on to watch on streaming services that I've subscribed to, and I've often thought I should go check it out. But I haven't, and I actually, there was another series that was a spin-off, and it was basically like the Golden Girls moved to Florida to take over a hotel that, gosh, I don't know, maybe like a friend or something like that had sort of like left to one of them, and it was, it was like underwater financially, and, a real struggle, and they really had to turn around, and so I started watching a couple of episodes of that, and it was pretty solid for 80s TV, and I think it only lasted maybe 1 or 2 seasons, that spin-off. I'm sure it was called Golden Girls something in the name, but it was a separate series with a bunch of different additional characters. Alright, so I assume this stuff has autographs. It's a finding per pack. Collector Pearl Rainbow 1 and 2 packs. We'll get one of those per box. Bubbly Holofoil 1 and 2. Okay, one of those per box. Collector Parallel. Vintage Flashback 1 and 2. Okay, so serial number Gemstone Refractor 1 in 10 packs. So one out of 5 boxes will have that. Artist Rendition Refractor 148 Culture Shocks. 1 in 96 and Multiburst 1 in 96. So unfortunately, I do not see autograph as a possibility there. So that's a bummer. So I don't think there's autographs in here, and I don't believe that this stuff has any other formats other than what you see here. So if there aren't autographs in this product, I don't think there are autographs available in this set. Which is pretty sad, because it would be pretty awesome to get some autos of some of these gals. Obviously, at least Estelle Getty has passed on, and didn't Betty White also recently die in the last few years? I know she was kind of a pop culture favorite of recent times. So I guess that's the base card with this very kind of loud flannelly looking pink border. See what the backs say. So okay, Road to Miami. The ladies help run a variety show for charity, and you gotta have hope. Season 4 episode 17. No, they're not dressed for a comedy sketch in it. A legendary comedian was in town for a golf tournament and they wanted him to MC. That's right, it's a wacky complication. Okay. There's the lone character card for, let's see, Dorothy was her name, yeah. Dorothy Petrillo Zabornik. Wow. That Zabornik name doesn't sound like familiar. I don't think they said that too often. From Brooklyn, New York City. Okay. Sophia, that was Ma. Little character, or little cartoon version. And there is our 1 and 2 pack rainbow foil. So it looks like it's got the base card design. And then just the refractor foily look to it. So, okay. Last pack here. I was just remembering the comments on getting scissors to open packs, which I'm happy to do. I do think some people enjoy the pack noises, but only if it's done like very gently and quietly, which I totally understand. Alright, there she is again. Sophia Grisanti Petrillo from Sicily. And there's the box photo, I think. Yeah, that's the same one on the box. Just cropped out on the box here. And there is our 1 and 2 pack. I forget what they call that type of refractor, but it's kind of looks like what do they call that? It's like a disco prism in Panini. There's Sophia again. Some kind of cartoony insert. There's another base card. So, okay, there you have it. There's your Golden Girls cards. That was fun, but yeah, I can't say those are super compelling, but glad to add them to my non-sports collection, which I try to have as sort of wide and varied as possible. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the